Well, it has been a smoky and warm day across central Oregon, and the next several days we're looking at another shift in our weather pattern, another chance of thunderstorms and more fire activity is even in the planner. Hey everyone, I'm Darrell Whittinger, the Chief Meteorologist at Central Oregon Daily News, and we're about to take a deep dive into your most reliable forecast. Look at the changes we've had here already through the last couple of days, what's expected as we go forward through this week, and how these changes are going to impact our forecast outside of the fire activity and the smoke that we've already had as well. And you could probably hear it in my voice. You probably hear the same thing in your voice. That smoke is really impacting our air quality across the high desert. We're going to talk about that and more here through the next couple of minutes, starting with what it looks like right now outside. Now, there were some light showers, more like sprinkles really through the day. It helped to clear the air in a couple spots across central Oregon, but several other locations still have some dense smoke over the area. In fact, when you look at the Lake Billy Chinook camera, you can just see that soupy view, and that is smoke coming from several fires, including the Okawa fire. And looking at other cameras, a mixture of sunshine and clouds. What we don't see as much at all in the way of precipitation. That precipitation that we had today did not help firefighting efforts. It was more just sprinkles pushing through central Oregon, and those fires are burning hot. So at times where it was going through, where there was a fire on the ground, that probably just evaporated before it even reached the surface. And right now, we don't even see anything left on radar. Satellite actually shows where there was quite a bit of clearing through central Oregon. Now, there are still some showers on radar over south central Oregon. There are not any thunderstorms across the entire state, and there haven't been through the day. And so we are continuing to track everything. There's just not much outside of fire activity to track, and there will be a little bit more clearing through the overnight hours. Now, what we're actually sitting in is just another round of that monsoonal moisture, the same type of monsoonal moisture that actually brought us our thunderstorm outbreak a week ago Wednesday. That's what started these fires. Now, when we look at the bigger picture, there's a couple things we're tracking. Number one, over central Oregon, those white lines, those isobars, when they get a little tighter together, that means stronger winds. Right now, it's not that bad. Now, further out over the Pacific Ocean, there is a broad ridge of high pressure and actually a low pressure out there as well over the Aleutian Islands. But what I'm focused on is this plume of moisture that's set up. There is a hurricane, an East Pacific hurricane out there, and that moisture trail coming right off the northern edge of it, that's what's being sucked right into the Pacific Northwest. That's what brought us enough moisture to actually bring a chance of showers. And we're going to continue to track the conditions from this hurricane, but for the most part, it is going to work its way inland, just not completely impacting us. However, it does bring us the moisture that we need and everything that comes with the tropical season. It brings us what we need for some thunderstorm potential, and that is why we're really tracking that come Wednesday, a little bit more on Thursday. And going forward through the next couple of days, we're also tracking the smoke. This is just one picture of what we've received so far, and this picture was taken out of Eagle Crest last night at about 9 p.m., and it just shows a smoky sunset. Now, currently, we have a couple different things happening. First, we're going to look at three different networks for air quality. The first one is the DEQ, the Department of Environmental Quality, and that is the base map you see there. That's the big areas of red, orange, yellow, and green, and it actually shows that we still have poor air quality, unhealthy air quality from Jefferson County through Prineville, so much of Crook County as well. But the hourly averages are green to orange, or good to unhealthy for sensitive groups. Now, we have one more monitoring network that we're going to try to look at. There's a lot of data in this one, so sometimes it takes a while to pick up. And this is the purple air. A lot of us use this, especially through the Watch Duty app, but these sensors are a little more sensitive, and we get them real time. And what they're showing is for most of Central Oregon, from the 126 corridor south into Deschutes County, and the few sensors that are in Crook County, good to moderate, not bad at all. And that was big different from what we saw earlier today. Now, getting out towards where we have some of these fires. So the Prineville Reservoir right here, it looks, yeah, that's the Prineville Reservoir right there. Just to the east of that, that's the Coyote Fire and a few others. The Post, right around Post. And that's where we have some unhealthy air quality. Meanwhile, getting up to Prineville, unhealthy air quality, a little bit orange there, so unhealthy for sensitive groups. And some of that is coming from the Box Creek Fire, as well as, the Brewer Fire, and then the Box Creek Fire, and then the Akawa Fire that is burning over about, I think it was 9 or 11 miles west of Crooked River Ranch. That one is just putting hazardous almost air quality in the air, and that poor air quality comes down to almost Cloverdale. And keep in mind, this is where we have that fire footprint, that perimeter, as well as several evacuation zones. Now, through the next couple of days, specifically on Wednesday, we have a higher risk of thunderstorm activity, and that is because of that hurricane that I was showing you that's way out over the eastern Pacific. And as we go forward through the next several days, that tropical moisture comes right into the Pacific Northwest, picking up our dew points. Now, that's important because dew points in the 50s and 60s or higher are like thunderstorm fuel. Then you get temperatures that are going to be topping out in the 90s. That adds to the fuel and the potential across central Oregon. And then by Wednesday, we catch that chance of thunderstorms across the high desert. Meanwhile, when it comes to a few other, let me go back real quick. I'm so sorry. I forgot to go through this graphic. Okay, so the red area over central Oregon, that's a red flag warning for Wednesday. The fire weather watch, the orange area, south central and western Oregon on the other side of the Cascades, that's a fire weather watch. I'm almost confident that that fire weather watch is going to be upgraded to a red flag warning, maybe even expanded in area. And then there's a heat advisory for other parts of the state. Now, getting to air quality, these are all issued by the DEQ. The National Weather Service just forwards them to us so we can get them in our weather computers. Now, there is a series of these footprints all across central Oregon. Some of these are complexes, like the Roe Creek or I think it's the Hay Creek Fire, but these are complexes. Some of these, like the Brewer Fire, these are individual fires, the Akawa Fire, and a couple more in Crook County. I believe that's maybe the Henry Fire and then the Coyote Fire. And these are just putting so much smoke in the air that it's just bringing us bad air quality conditions. So we are continuing to track that. And when it comes to the smoke coming off of these fires through the overnight hours, the perimeters are still there. I just switched them to white because, you wouldn't be able to see red because there's a lot of red that's going to be on this graphic. Okay, so through the overnight hours, more of this smoke spreads out. Poor air quality expected to start the day tomorrow, really from 11 o'clock through 7 a.m., just poor air quality. Through the day, it starts to improve a little bit, especially as winds pick up by the afternoon. But really, these smoke plumes coming off of the individual fires are just going to dance around central Oregon, dependent on wind speed and direction from which way they're going. And this smoke just stays with us. So this raspy voice you hear with me, it's only going to get worse. Even all the way through this week and into the weekend. So when it comes to the actual forecast model, the one we typically use, let me go back real quick. That was fascinating. Okay, so I typically don't show this for this reason because it doesn't always show it, but watch real closely. You could actually see the smoke plumes going back and forth with the visibility product in this forecast model. That is so cool, but it's actually really, really bad. It's not good. And then by the time we get to Tuesday afternoon, a chance for some isolated storms. They'll be few and far between. By Wednesday, scattered thunderstorms are expected. And then we just continue this trend as we go forward. By Thursday, it starts to clear up a little bit. And then when I say clear up, less of a chance of thunderstorms, the smoke's going to be with us until further notice. And when it comes to relative humidity, not critical right now. In fact, we're already starting to feel a little bit more of that added moisture in the air. And we're sitting in the 30s for most percentage-wise, some 20s and 40s out there. And so with relative humidity percentages at this level, it's dry. It's just not as dry as it typically is this time of year. That's that subtropical moisture, that tropical moisture as well, coming into the area from that hurricane. Now, high temperatures in the last 24 hours, 80s for most with a few 90s on the map. Now, going forward, we're just going to get hotter. But today, we're running between 4 and 13 degrees cooler than average for this time of the year. 80s and 70s are across the area right now. And tomorrow, we're topping out in the 90s with a few 80s on the map. Now, some 50s and 60s are indeed expected, but also our UV intensity forecast is almost crashing during the next couple of days. Still going to be high, and that just means we have times of sunshine expected. But by the time we get to Thursday and Friday, back up to very high. And we're not looking at too much in the way of rain either. Most of the shower activity that we're looking at is going to be happening Tuesday and Wednesday. And then we're pretty much wrapped up for the rest of the day. That's also when we have a chance of isolated thunderstorms Tuesday afternoon and evening, then scattered thunderstorms by Wednesday, and then temperatures start to level back out as that high pressure starts to flatten going forward through getting into the weekend. Now, this is the full forecast model, the one we typically show on air every night. It does not show the smoke dancing back and forth like that high-resolution one did, but it does show some showers Tuesday with a few thunderstorms. By Wednesday, scattered thunderstorms with a few showers, mostly in the afternoon and evening, and still not quite everybody getting wet. By Thursday, very few and far between. By Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, we have more sunshine than cloud cover. We're going to look at one more forecast model just to verify and see if they're showing the same thing or not, or where it's different. So this one shows a few showers, maybe a thunderstorm or two Thursday. Wednesday, some scattered thunderstorms, and this one doesn't show anything on Thursday. And so I actually think this one's better on Thursday, where we're going to clear out earlier. They're just going to hold on to that low chance of some thunderstorm activity. After that, more sunshine than cloud cover, and temperatures stay near and a little above average for this time of the year, starting to come back down. So between now and Thursday at 11 p.m., we are looking at showers, some thunderstorms, some lightning. Some of these thunderstorms are going to be capable of producing very frequent lightning strikes, and it's something we're going to be tracking. Meanwhile, looking at the longer range forecast model, it's pretty much going to be the same couple of days, pretty much showing the same amount. So wind gusts this afternoon, not too bad this evening. Wind gusts themselves are between 10 and 15 miles per hour. Actual wind speeds, more like 2 to 12 miles per hour. And we have this light breeze. This light breeze continues through the next couple of days, only becoming breezy at times. Now by Wednesday, wind thunderstorms are expected. Where thunderstorms occur, that's where winds are going to be very gusty. Now for tonight, we're talking 60s and 50s with more smoke. That is not a pretty forecast, but it is going to happen. And by Tuesday, we're talking low to mid 90s with a few triple digits possible and a couple thunderstorms. Then we have that red flag warning Wednesday with scattered thunderstorms. Temperatures start to come back down. More sunshine is expected. And with that additional sunshine, it's still going to be a little breezy at times. So your weather headlines for this Monday, July the 20th, heating, smoke, and breezy. That continues. Thunderstorms are expected possible Tuesday afternoon and evening, and expected Wednesday afternoon and evening, and fires are pretty much shaping the forecast. Now, through the last couple of hours where we've had some sprinkles, those have dried out, and clouds are thinning out as well. That is the latest in weather. Join us tonight on Central Oregon Daily News. We'll have the latest headlines and your most reliable forecast. See you then.